So, what are elf vampires? Elf vampires are a small group, a strain of vampires who were elven humanoids who, during their transformation, encountered a rare strain of vampirism. This strain of vampirism died out between the 3E and 4E editions, making its last known occurrence in the 14th century DR. When turning, unlike their beautiful counterparts, elf vampires would have their faces become scarred and twisted. They were said to cause horrified shock to any victim who gazed upon their face, and as such they hid their faces, dressed in dark robes and hoods. Because of their transformation, they were disfigured, and they harbored hatred for the beautiful, and sought not to kill the beautiful, but to corrupt and destroy them. Unlike true vampires, they didn't become bats. They transformed into eagles. The biggest difference they had from traditional vampires was that they didn't feed on blood. They instead feasted on beauty, creative energy, and charisma from other creatures. The process in which they would feed was twisted. They would leave the victim scarred and disfigured. And if they fed on the same victim multiple times, the victim would become so disfigured they were unrecognizable. As stated, they sought not to kill, but to corrupt. Most of their victims would survive. They were so negatively impacted, they would have thoughts of ending it all. And if they did end it all, and they happened to be elven or half-elven, they would rise again as a subservient vampire spawn to the last vampire elf that fed on them. They would be a victim to feed upon, drained of their beauty, joy, and creativity over and over again for all eternity, becoming more and more disfigured after every feeding. Vampire elves were not hindered by sunlight. Instead, they were harmed by being outside during the night. They are one of the darkest of the vampiric lore, but thankfully you're not going to encounter one in 5e, unless you have a very wicked DM who doesn't mind past lore.